Hello, everyone. I'm here with Jeff DeWispelare. He is the president and CEO of Omaha Home for Boys. Jeff, thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So not only, Omaha Home for Boys is celebrating a huge milestone, 100 years. You're our cover story for our August-September issue, the issue that's literally hitting the streets right now. So many important things that the organization has done over the years, but let's just start off. Who does the Omaha Home for Boys serve?
Absolutely. We, as an agency, we have a tagline that is transform a life, strengthen a community. And in 2019, we served about 1,300 young adults and their families. We do that basically through 6 programs, very similar programs, but they run a continuum for us. We start with a younger age, the high school age young men in our in our residential program. And they live with us for 6 to 8 months. And basically we show them what a family structure would look like. They live day to day with us. They go to school in our education department. And they just kind of learn what daily life should look like. And many of them have not seen that exemplified in their homes.
Yeah.
We have a second program that is called the Crisis Stabilization Program, very similar. We bring kids in just like we do in residential, but they only stay with us for 45 days, and then we work with their family in the home for up to 6 months. So we believe that's a newer program, and we believe that's going to change kind of the dynamic of helping the whole family improve, not just the individual.
Yeah.
Then the second program is kind of our little bit older age. We go into the transitional living, Jacob's Place program, and that is for 17 to 20-year-olds coming out of foster care. And then our third kind of component slides into the community, where we work with individuals in the community. Same situation. Specialist works with them almost as a pseudo parent, and they live in the community, but we work with them and try to take care of either jobs. They learn how to ride the bus. We get them a driver's license if that's what they need. And then we have a housing component to that that's called the supportive housing program. And it's unique to, we believe to us, not many places bring in the whole family. We're willing to bring in young kids, spouse, significant other. They all live together in an apartment. They have to follow a certain process and structure, but they are there together. And we believe, probably not just in our community, but the whole country, what we've done is we've taken apart the family to fix it, and we're trying to do it all in one unit. New program. So we're excited about that. They can stay with us for up to 2 years in that program, and they have subsidized rent, and then that will progress up every 6 months until that year period. And then hopefully they're ready for their own home community. So we're excited about that. And go ahead.
Oh, and I was going to say, well, no, you go ahead. Yeah, keep.
Well, the last little piece here is then we have mental health. We all know mental health is probably our largest issue in our community right now. So we created it's called clinical programming, and we provide that across all of the gamut of all of our programs. And just mental health, drug treatment, all of those things that a lot of people are kind of turning away from because it is expensive. It's hard sometimes to work with billing, with insurance, Medicaid, all those things, but we decided to lean into that. So we created that program about a year ago. So that's kind of that's our whole organization in a very, very small snippet, but I just try to give you kind of an overview.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like the last piece, the mental health, that is like so important. That is
absolutely
so important. And I know for everything the Omaha Home for Boys has done over, again, 100 years, celebrating just the contribution that you've made in the community. I'm going to diverse from it because you guys just did a branding change over the last year, correct?
Yes.
And with that branding change, has anything else have the programs that you just talked about, has that expanded or is it being more, in the community? Because again, you've done so much. And I love the new branding. So, I just wanted to have a question about the branding change.
Absolutely. Well, to be honest with you, the whole process is kind of an evolution. We for 100 years were very campus-based. We served those that came to us. They lived with us, and wonderful work. Very, very proud of that work. what I wanted to do as taking over as the new leader during kind of this transition period,
Yeah.
when we hit our 100, we wanted to, I have a saying that history doesn't define you, it informs you. And so we are using that to, we know what has happened and now we know what needs to happen. So for the next 100 years, we want to be community-based, vibrant, just like our logo shows.
Yeah.
To be different than we were before, not because it was bad, but because it's time.
Yeah. And the thing is, 100 years ago, or over the past 100 years, the needs of what the people you serve have changed. I mean, there may be some fundamentals that are the same, but we're an evolution process of everything continues to change. So,
Absolutely.
and what are the next 100 years ahead of you? They're not going to be like the past 100 years. So,
yes.
Which again is reason for celebration as you guys celebrate this milestone for sure.
Yeah. And that's exactly what we decided probably a couple of years ago, is we were going to use this opportunity to not just celebrate the past, but celebrate what we can be.
Yeah.
And that's the exciting part, because we started as an orphanage 100 years ago, and there's no such thing as even orphans anymore, right? That's not even a thing. So we've evolved, but I will say the one thread that I think runs through all programming, all the years, everything, it's a structural crack in the fabric of, if you will, parent or a family, the environment kids live in. And so it has been that from the 20s up till today. And we are hopefully trying to close that gap. That's where we sit in there and we take that opportunity, because we have generational things going on. People aren't choosing to do these things. They're not choosing to not have their kids have food. It's a generational, and it's learned, and we have to try to help break that cycle as best we can.
Yeah. Well, let's talk just a little bit about COVID-19, because that is a very, that's what's happening now. I mean, everybody is being impacted, all nonprofits. So how has COVID-19 impacted the Omaha Home for Boys?
Well, couple sides. I'll hit on the operational side and then some financial piece.
Sure.
From the operational side, we made a decision probably, it's hard to believe, March 16th or somewhere in there, to take, the CDC recommendations. And we took all of our administrative staff. We have fundraising staff. We have myself. We have just different individuals that work in the office, paperwork, reports. And we decided to pull all those individuals out. We had already had a work from home program that you could do a couple times a month. We were equipped for it, which I feel is a big blessing now. Many companies were not ready for that. So we just went into work from home, and we have been doing that for the last 5.5 months or whatever that is now. So we have about 60% of our individuals have to be on campus. They work directly with the kids, and they live with us. So we can't just kind of Zoom them. We Zoom when we can with their families, but
sure,
we can't go to Zoom. We have to be with them, because obviously we're providing supervision and a lot of teaching and that kind of stuff. So about 60 to 70 of our staff are on campus working. The other 35 to 40 are off campus, doing Zoom and doing a lot of what we're doing right here. So far, so good. It's been very good. We've had a couple scares, one minor case that came up, but they were already off campus. So we feel very blessed to have the individuals in and out of our campus that we've had, and that we've not had any incidents at this time.
Yeah.
From an operational side, that's how we operated.
Sure. And then, talking about the fundraising side, as you just mentioned, one of the things, you're having this big 100th anniversary celebration gala in October. And that's moved to next fall, which is appropriate. But, like all nonprofits, the need doesn't stop. So how can people support you? How can people support you right now?
Absolutely. And I will say that nobody's going to forget our anniversary probably, because I hate to be tied to this, but our 100 year is a doozy, as they say. But so we have a couple opportunities. We'll have multiple opportunities. The easiest way, obviously, everybody has a website. Ours is ohb.org. As part of our new logo, we've just gone to shorten the Omaha Home Boys to OHB to make it simple. So you can join us on ohb.org. You can donate online. I'd ask you to read more about, I gave you a general synopsis of what we do, but there's so much depth in there. I'd ask you to just look at that if anybody hasn't seen that. So website, we have a lot of events. We have golf. We have different things. We have use sponsors. So if you look on there or hear of us doing those things, we'd love you to sponsor and attend. People attending is a big deal for us, and it's as much for us about sharing our story as it is. We call it fundraising as much as fundraising. So sometimes you have to have friends in the community, and we believe we wouldn't be 100 years old without friends. So and then we have a guild that has just started up of people that just come together and they volunteer and help with events or whatever we might need. Probably the other thing that stepped out a little different is our kids need a lot of hygiene items, a lot of school supplies. So if an individual wanted to do a drive at their business, at their church, even personally as a family, we would love to have that happen, because we are constantly stocking deodorants and clothes and just toilet paper, all those things that we take for granted. Somebody has to provide it for these young folks. And then the last piece, Andy, I think it's the big one, is that you go on to social media. Just follow us on social media, and you'll see all the stuff going on. And we have a wonderful marketing person that just puts our stuff out there, and she does a great job. So you follow us there, you're going to know everything that's happening as it happens.
Yeah, and again, things are constantly changing in our community, and the needs. We just you're pivoting. So social media. Encourage people to follow Omaha Home for Boys on social media. And again, this next fall, next September, we will make sure we're getting the word out, well ahead of time on what that huge celebration is going to be about. And I will.
If I can add something, one of the things, it is September 9th of 2021.
Okay.
We're very excited about our speaker. We've been trying to work with Michael Orr from The Blind Side for years.
Okay.
So he'll be speaking. He's an NFL veteran. He has a book. He grew up in this exact situation and ran away from home and was put in out of home. I mean, it's the story of our kids. And then he's made success. And obviously many of us have seen the movie The Blind Side. So we're excited to have him come speak, and he's agreed to move him from this year to next year. So we're very blessed for that as well.
Yeah. I've been to many of your galas. They're always amazing. You have amazing speakers, but yes, I will definitely connect with you and get the word out as the date gets closer.
Absolutely.
Jeff, thank you so much. And thank you just for the important work that you do, that the organization does. It's not easy. And right now, I know it's especially not easy when you have to think outside of the box and continue to support those in needs, because the need does not stop. It just, COVID-19 doesn't stop anything.
No,
and maybe how we do things.
Full speed ahead. And I will say, one, I want to thank you for the opportunity. For sharing our story, but I'd like to also publicly just thank our staff. I get to be the face, I get to be on these calls and things, and I go to meetings and raise money and brag about them. But I will say that this group has impressed me. They went to work every day. We've given them as many incentives as we can, but basically they're doing their job when the whole world is kind of freaking out. They still have to be there focused on these kids, because the kids need them really, really bad right now. So
yeah, absolutely.
I just want to make sure that was publicly known.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. Again, ohb.org to learn so much more than what we've talked about here today. But I appreciate the conversation and look forward to supporting you and the big event next September. So
absolutely.
Thanks again, Jeff. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.